Hello again, and this is Sudden Death with my review of the German Tier 8 medium tank, the Panther 88. As usual, I'll start with the gun, move on to the armor, then move on to the mobility of this tank. Starting with the gun, the 88mm L71 is the only gun available for this tank, as it is a premium, with 203mm of penetration and 240 alpha damage, .23 accuracy, which is alright, and a rather slow aiming time of 2.3 seconds. The armor of this tank is a little bit subpar for Tier 8, being very similar to the Tier 7 Panther, with actually 5mm less of armor at the front, for 80mm thick angled back at 45 degrees. The sides of the hull are pitifully thin at 50mm, and the back is even worse at 40, though it is slightly angled. The turret, slightly better, tiny gun mantlet, but 120mm with very minimal slope at the front, but very heavily angled sides of the turret. If you're shooting at the front of this tank, make sure to hit the flat face, not the angled side portions, because you will just bounce off. The back is almost another flat 60mm, so if you get the back of this tank, have some fun. The mobility is once again similar to that of the Panther at Tier 7. For a medium tank, it is not very quick, doesn't turn very fast, and generally just isn't very mobile. That being said, it is a medium, and can definitely shift, and you will not feel like you're driving a liver all the time. I tend to play this tank along the lines of the Hellcat with a faster turning turret at Tier 8. You cannot rely on the armor, and you cannot rely on the gun to hit anything unless you let it aim. The fact that I play this like the Hellcat is not to say that the armor is completely useless. You can and will see a couple bounces off of places like the gun mantlet, or if you happen to be going over a hill, maybe off the upper plate. But beyond that, the armor is not to be relied upon. It is not that good. So comparisons are obviously going to be drawn between this and the Panther II, also at Tier 8, the non-premium German medium tank. Pretty much the only difference between the two is the Panther II has slightly more armor, another 20 at the front, which is not insubstantial, but neither tank is really a heavy tank. You're not going to be reliably bouncing E100s. You're still going to get penned by just about anything. Don't rely on the armor. Second, this tank can also be compared to the new German premium medium tank at Tier 8, the Panzer 58 Mutz. Full disclosure, I hate the Mutz. I think it's an awful tank. The mobility just isn't there for me, the DPM is a bit slacking, and the armor doesn't bounce what I think it should be bouncing for the angling and the thickness. I think the armor is a bunch of nonsense. That being said, it is better at brawling. The Panther 88 most definitely is not a tank for brawling. It is a sniper through and through. So, do with that as you will. Now Wargaming's asking about $30 to $35 depending on the day for this tank. So let's see if this tank is really worth the money. Let's watch some replays.
Wir haben sie nicht mal angekratzt.
One thing I don't think that was mentioned enough, whatever you do, don't fire the gun on the move with this tank, and do not fire it without letting it fully aim. You're just going to waste ammunition and money. This tank is designed, sort of like the Liva, to sit in the back, behind the other medium tanks, let the gun aim, and then to deal out consistent, reliable damage per minute over a short period of time, given the short reload of this gun. That being said, just to reiterate, this tank plays a lot like the Hellcat. It's not quite as quick, and it might be 2 tiers higher, but the armor just isn't there, but the accuracy and the long-range DPM is there. It is definitely a second line tank. It's not fast enough to really flank or circle the bigger heavies. Obviously you can get away with doing it to a mouse, that's not what I'm saying here. Don't try to circle a T-125, you will get killed. So just take that into consideration when figuring out your own playstyle.